So Gamescom 2024 this year was not at the level that I was expecting. We did get some fairly good announcements, so that's some good news, but personally I think the game festivals so far this year have been kind of a letdown. We didn't see any major games like Resident Evil, and a lot of people were hoping that we would see at least something relating to Resident Evil. So far, the only saving graces of 2024 are stuff like Silent Hill 2, Dead Rising, and Black Myth: Wukong. Besides all that, the other games at Gamescom that were announced have a huge chance at being massive failures, like the Indiana Jones game, for example. Today, we're going to be talking about some of the games that were announced, and then we'll talk a little bit more to see how we feel about them. This list is not going to mention Dying Light, as I've covered that in a separate video. But don't forget to subscribe, and let's get into it. So, number 1, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. This game is being created by Bethesda, and it is being marketed as an Xbox exclusive, and this game has left a ton of people scratching their heads as to why is this game even being made. This has potential money waster written all over it. The story is set to be taking place during the Raiders of the Lost Ark movie and The Last Crusade, and you get to play as Indiana Jones himself as he's trying to keep an artifact out of the hands of the Russians, who are planning on using it for world domination. Pretty basic stuff. This game is going to be first person. It's going to have all of the things that you would normally see in an Indiana Jones movie. To me, this kind of just looks like Bethesda using their Skyrim Fallout style design with Indiana Jones. That's what, like, the first thing I thought of when I saw, the combat, or the not real they mixed gameplay and cinematic stuff in here. Like right here you can see it has that same kind of setup as what a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls game would look like, and that's actually because this game is being directed by Todd Howard, and this has gotten a lot of backlash because, as some of you might know from my videos, I'm not a huge fan of this guy. He is very well known for ruining games and leaving them without any real passion, and he just basically sucks the life out of everything he does. This guy, for some reason, instead of working on the next Elder Scrolls game that was announced almost 7 years ago, he has decided to work on every project except for that one. And Bethesda has a lot of games slated for 2024 and 2025, with this game being set to be released in December. And with this game being announced a short time ago, again, it has everybody scratching their head as to why are they making this. And yeah, let's move on to the next one. So, number 2 is Dune Awakening, and I'm actually kind of excited for this game. It looks really good, and it's been a while since we've gotten a good MMO, and for this game to be set in the Dune universe, this might give this game the edge that it needs to build up a player base and have a good lifespan. That being said though, the people developing this game have never worked on a massive MMO, so it still remains to be seen whether or not they can pull this off. They have made strategy games before this and a bunch of smaller titles, but nothing as massive as an MMO. And this has me worried because when a smaller company tries to make a big AAA title, it usually never really works in their favor. But I will give them the benefit of the doubt because this trailer does look really good. With that being said though, I would definitely wait before wishlisting or buying this game until at least reviews come out. This game is set to have an open beta release at the end of 2024, so we'll see how it looks by then, because they still have plenty of time to shape up any issues that they might have with this game. The game is set to take place on a desert planet called Arrakis, where a royal family called House Atreides has settled to take control. After swift betrayal, the political landscape of Arrakis is sent into chaos, with multiple factions warring over control of the planet's primary resource, the spice. Spice grants extra sensory abilities in the world of Dune, allowing pilots to navigate long-term space expeditions and more. It's only found on Arrakis, and it has been the source of conflict for millennia. You play as the Sleeper, awakened and forced out into the brutal desert environment. As you progress, you'll set up your own house minor and then can align with other major powers fighting for control of the region. It's been revealed that you'll meet characters from the books and films during Dune Awakening story, but for now, we don't really know the specifics. But yeah, like I said, the open beta for this game comes out in December, and we'll have to wait and see what else we get with trailers and gameplay show-offs. We'll probably see more at the Game Awards. I'm hoping, probably, to be honest, since we're going to see a lot of other games at the Game Awards this year. But we'll definitely keep an eye out and see if there's any major updates with this game. So, number 3 is Borderlands 4, and this game is actually being announced at one of the craziest moments for this franchise. Not only because Borderlands hasn't been around for a couple of years, but the god-awful movie just came out. This movie basically damaged the reputation of the franchise, and the movie had a $140 million budget and ended up only being a $90 million loss for Take-Two and 2K Games, and the leader of the company was basically begging people to give it a chance, and this got him a lot of criticism. They really haven't showed us a full story trailer, just a teaser so far. It hints at a new big villain of the game since Handsome Jack has been dead since Borderlands 2. And we'll have to wait and see what new developments come out regarding this game and when it will be released. We really, again, don't have a lot of information that I can speak on right now, but I will keep you updated as I hear more about this game. So, I mean, the only thing you can really do is wishlist it for 2025. But let's move on to the next one. So I just want to quickly throw this one in here. This is number 4 for me, and this is Marvel's Rivals. Sorry, that's kind of hard to say. So this is a game I'm really excited for. I'm not a big Overwatch fan, but this game is, I guess, supposed to be just like Overwatch, but for Marvel superheroes. I haven't played it, but I've heard from people that this game is really great. You get to play as characters like Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America, and you fight against other people like Venom and Bucky Barnes. They finally showed off more gameplay at Gamescom and showed kind of some of the improvements that they've been taking in from player feedback, and it looks pretty great. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge multiplayer guy. I've never really been a multiplayer guy, but this game looks like it's going to be the next big thing when it comes to online multiplayer games like Fortnite and Overwatch specifically. They finally gave us a release date on when it will be available. They said the game is set to release December 6th and will be available on all consoles, which, you know, that's pretty cool. I'm excited for it. I'm a big Marvel fan, so it's nice to see that Marvel's expanding out into video games the correct way, instead of doing it the way they have before with the Avengers game and the Guardians of the Galaxy game. So we'll have to wait and see how this goes, but I'm expecting that this one's going to be a pretty good experience, all things considered. So for this one, and oh god. So, Jesus. This game is being created by Peter Molyneux, and he's the guy that created the Fable franchise. And keep in mind, I am a huge fan of this franchise, and I was hoping that Fable 4 was going to finally get a release date, but that game has been in development hell for the last 5 years, and Masters of Albion is basically like Dungeon Keeper and Fable mixed into one. And this is a secret project that I guess he's been working on for the last few years. He put together an Avengers team of developers together and kind of brought this game to life. It takes place in Fable's old realm of Albion, and this game is basically like Civilization, where you have to build up a city and protect the people living there. I honestly thought he was going to announce a new Fable-like RPG, and I am pretty disappointed that he didn't. He started off his presentation with, "I don't know what I was thinking by making mobile games," and then basically announced a console version of a mobile game. I want Fable 4. I don't want any more of this garbage. They have continued to release these kinds of games under the franchise banner, when all of the Fable community just wants it to go back to its roots. And this game doesn't have a release date, and again leaves a ton of people wondering, why? Why Why? Why? That's all this Gamescom event has done for me, is just leave me with my head scratching, asking the same damn questions over and over again. And this year, if not for Black Myth, Silent Hill 2, and Dead Rising, would have been such an uninspired mess of a year for gaming. And, oh god, this game, oh please god, make it stop. But, okay, let's get into the next one. I'm actually pretty excited about this one. So, number 6 for me is Mafia 4, The Old Country. And this is a game that I've been following for years, honestly since they made Mafia 3. And I'm kind of surprised that they're going this direction with the game, but Mafia 3 was also such a commercial disaster that I guess it kind of forced them to go back to their roots. I knew that they've been working on this for a while, but I wasn't expecting it to come so soon. This game will basically follow up with Don Salieri from the first Mafia game during his time as a lieutenant in the Italian mob in Sicily, Italy. And not much was shown besides maybe a trailer, and Hangar 13 said that they would share more information on the game in December, most likely during the Game Awards. I'm really excited for this game. I've been a huge fan of the franchise since I played through the remastered trilogy a couple of years ago, and I hope that they fix the issues that Mafia 3 had, where the story was very lackluster and full of busy work like repetitive gameplay mechanics and boss fights. And I don't know, this game has a lot of promise, but without seeing any real gameplay or any story trailers, I can't really make any presumptions based on just this, 30-second clip. But we'll see how this goes, and I'll keep up with the information on this game, and hopefully I can make up my mind before they announce an official release date. But let's get into the next one. So, number 7 on this list for me is Avowed, and this game was created by Obsidian Entertainment. Yes, the same people behind Fallout New Vegas, and they have been working on this game for a very long time. And it's very similar to Skyrim, and they appeared at Gamescom with more information in regards to their game. A lot of people got to play a hands-on demo, and based on what I've read about this hands-on demo, a lot of people really loved it. And this game has the potential of completely taking over the Elder Scrolls franchise, and I am so excited for this, and so are other people. A lot of people are excited for this because even though we might not get Elder Scrolls 6 for a little bit, this game will definitely scratch that Skyrim itch that so many people have been excited for. And I mean, like I said, Elder Scrolls 6 has been a complete nightmare, and having this release might give Bethesda some ideas on what people want with Elder Scrolls 6, instead of making the same mistakes that they did with Starfield. I think Avowed will be considered far superior to Elder Scrolls, just like New Vegas is considered to be the better Fallout game. Now, if only Obsidian would make a game just like Fallout to compete with Bethesda, that would be so great. But this game is set to release in February of 2025. That is, depending on whether or not it gets delayed again or not. But we'll see as more information comes out. Let's get to number 8. So, Outward 2 is number 8 for me, and this game looks like a mix between Fable and The Witcher 3, where the game will pick up 50 years after the first game. This game has you fighting monsters and different fictional creatures in the same way that The Witcher 3 handled it, and this makes this game kind of cool if done correctly. The game itself will be an RPG, where you can use trinkets and potions to fight against all kinds of unspeakable monsters your character will come across, and the game has not gotten a solid release date, but at Gamescom they showed off an alpha build for the game, and many reviewers were very pleased with this. This game will be good for people who enjoyed Fable or The Witcher because it basically mixes the formulas of the two games in a way that's exciting and fun. And I would definitely like to see a lot more information about this game because the alpha build doesn't really show us that much. It shows a very basic ground for what they want to cover. and we just will have to wait and see for future events. And this game will most likely end up releasing in 2025 or 2026, depending on how the development goes for the team working on this game. But hopefully all works out. Again, nothing substantial with this, but I just wanted to throw it in there because I am a fan of both Fable and The Witcher. So anybody who likes those kinds of games, I guess, will like this kind of game as well. But let's get to number 9. So number 9 is Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and this is something I'm adding in after the video was finished. I didn't want to add this in because it is a Call of Duty game, but I figured, why the hell not? They showed off a campaign mission during Gamescom 2024, and it kind of gives us an idea as to what they're really trying to do with this game. And it's pretty exciting, I'm not gonna lie. This looks like the most passion-filled project that Call of Duty has come out with in the last 6 years. I think for me, the last Call of Duty game I played that I actually enjoyed was Call of Duty Cold War. So this is definitely a step up from Cold War. We basically get to play in the shoes of a new protagonist as we follow Adler and Woods as they go through different events during that time. So the game is set during the Gulf War, and you basically play as a new protagonist and follow Adler and his crew. This game definitely looks like a step in the right direction. For me, I haven't really played a Call of Duty game that much since like Cold War, so I don't really have any real feelings towards the most recent games. I have not heard good things. I played a couple matches of Modern Warfare 2 and 3 and was not a fan, but hopefully this game corrects the mistakes of those games, and hopefully will put the franchise in the right direction moving forward. This definitely shows that Activision needs to take more time with their games instead of trying to pump them out every year. Because apparently this game has been in development since Call of Duty Cold War, and this is probably going to be the best one that they've done in years. So again, we'll have to see what the future brings, but they do have an open beta for this game starting this week, I believe, or next week, the 30th through September 14th, I believe. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But let's get to number 10. So number 10 for me is the Phantom Blade Zero game, and this actually got a trailer and a demo at Gamescom where you could play through an earlier version of the game. Or not, I wouldn't say earlier version, but some of the earlier portions of the games, like the boss fights and some of the enemy encounters, and you can definitely see Black Myth Wukong and Elden Ring's inspiration for this game, and also some of the Ghost of Tsushima's inspiration. This game looks so great. This has been my thing since getting into Elden Ring, is just looking out for these kinds of games, just because of how much fun I always have with them. Now, there isn't a set release date or anything for this game. One of the developers did say that it might be released by 2026, so that is a couple years away. So I'm not quite sure why they decided to show this off, maybe to start building up hype for it. It just kind of seems silly to me to show off a trailer for a game that's not going to come out for another 2 years, but I mean, shit, they do them, I guess. But the game will follow an elite assassin who is framed for the murder of the Order's patriarch. That's all of the information we've really gotten for the game so far, but this is definitely a game I am excited for. I've been playing a lot more of these Souls-like games since getting into Elden Ring, and it's good to see that the gaming industry picked up on the success of Elden Ring and is starting to make more games like it. Because I remember for a while Dark Souls was kind of in its own unique corner of the gaming industry. So it's cool to see that it's finally being recognized with some of the gameplay designs being repurposed for other games. With that being said though, I will keep an eye out for this as more information comes out. But that's all I really have in regarding to this. That is my top 10 games that I saw at Gamescom that either excited me or it annoyed me. But like I said, Gamescom 2024 was very low stakes. I feel like all of the gaming conventions this year have been very low stakes. I mean, none of I've heard from so many people that so many of these conferences that were done this year were so shit in regards to like what is actually being announced and released. And I don't know. I picked out some of the big ones that I saw while watching over the course of the last couple of days, but that's all I really have to say. I just want to thank everybody for watching. If you enjoyed this, go watch some of my other videos because that's how the algorithm works. And if you enjoyed this, maybe it'll recommend it to somebody else who does too. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and show this channel some support. I just want to thank everybody who watched this to the end and have a good night.